That is not dead which can eternal lie. With strange aeons even death may die. Okay. I'm Kay. Half vampire and half asleep. Return for another attempt at Long Live the Queen. I think I've died about 5 times so far. My attempt at ruling this country. We've gotten as far as engaging in a magical duel with a foreign leader. Now, I've had some statistics put together for me on how we're going to survive this. Let's see what we can do. Tin scramble to turn up because you're in a 12-hour armor op. Man, armor's serious business. This is a crown, I think you'll find. A hat. A hat indeed. Goodness. It's not like I set the stream extremely late. Or anything. Okay. Start from the beginning. It's Jocelyn, King Dowager, Duke of Coloris. We're almost home. Your room is just the way you left it. We are Elodie, the Crown Princess. Ellipses. I know it's hard to leave your school and all your friends, but I've arranged the best possible tutors for every subject. You'll have to work hard this year to prepare yourself before your 15th birthday, but I know you can do it. Addicted to armor? I mean, if that's the game you're playing, that's fine, enjoy it. People tend to have like a main game that they like to play consistently, especially if you're playing it with people. You'll learn quickly and you'll make a wonderful queen. It's what your mother would have wanted. This is not what mother would have wanted. She wouldn't have wanted to die and leave me. No, she wouldn't, but sometimes bad things happen. We have to pick up and carry on. All of Nova depends on us, on you. I'll be here to guide you into your coronation, but the decisions you make are ultimately up to you. Come, your maids are waiting. They're always waiting, these maids. I have definitely played this before. Okay. Starting out, big depressed. Loading up on the Espresso Depresso. Now, first things first. We want to focus on getting up accounting and presence. I can't remember if we just need the one or the both, but we'll go for both. Now, I think accounting doesn't get bonuses for any particular mood, but presence definitely does. So presence is a social skill? Yes, royal demeanor. That gets a bonus from yielding. And what does accounting get negatives for? Willfulness. So we can do accounting now. The first thing you want to do after your mother's died, go straight into accounting classes. Really sets the tone for the future. Week 1. You brush up on basic mathematics with the help of an abacus. You study the manipulation of larger quantities through direct calculations, using written numbers instead of an abacus. Moved on quickly from the abacus. What's all that noise outside? Who's there? Oh, it's my cousins and my aunt and uncle. Ah, Lucille, Countess Phoenix. Darling, we're so terribly sorry to hear about your mother Fidelia. Thank you. Lawrence, Duke of Merva. You look well, niece. And Charlotte, Lady Merva. Hi, Lodi. Hi, Lottie. Haven't seen you in ages. Will you be staying long? Yep. Well, we said we're here all month. Maybe we'll have some time to talk later. Okay. So we want yieldingness. But we should also talk to people. So let's talk to Charlotte. I love this room. It's so much bigger than mine back home. You should visit more often. It's awful the time we get to see you is something like this. I know your brother and sister are still too young, but why haven't you come to school? My mother worries about me. She doesn't think anywhere but home is safe. I understand. I'm probably not going to be allowed to leave this castle until my birthday. But at least we can have fun together here. Okay, yeah. Now I'm afraid. That's not helpful. Big afraid. It's fine, as long as it's not getting me negatives to my accounting. You study money lending and the controversies involved in charging interest. According to the Druids, one should always return more than one is loaned, or else the debt gave no value to the world. It's an interesting philosophy. You study bookkeeping and the art of notating incomes and expenditures, as well as how to determine the amount of funds a solvent business needs to keep in hand in order to continue functioning. It's that commotion outside, Father. What's going on? Ah, the Julian and the Duchess of Ursel. I've come to pay my respects in honor of your mother. You have no respect or honor. It's because of you and your powers that my wife is dead. What? I'm a Lumen, as was she, and like every Lumen, I am willing to give my life if necessary to protect our domain. Your line has been traitors for 200 years. I won't have you corrupting my daughter. Wow, that's a long, traitorous line. That is for the Crown Princess to decide. I do still have the cheat sheet. We are going to be trying to follow along our plan of action. We are learning from our previous many deaths, I think. But feel free to reference it and stop me. Yeah, we have our ways to avoid our bad ends so far here listed. Elodie, your mother trusted me, and I have much to teach you. She can stay, of course. I want to hear what she has to say. She stays. As you wish. Alright. Let us speak to Juliana. What is it you wanted to teach me? First, I need to know if you have your mother's crystal. What crystal? Oh, I've learnt no lore. The source of power for any lumen is a particular magical crystal. Once you've bonded with it, it becomes a part of you as long as you live. The royal crystal has been passed down from ruler to ruler for generations. It belongs to you now, except that the king may be keeping it from you. Do you have the crystal? Of course. She holds out her hands, and light flickers above her bosom, and with a shower of sparkles something takes shape. You reach out to touch it, and it dissolves away into nothing. Oh. Belongs to me. No one can take it from me until I die. You need to find the crystal that belongs to you. Oh, I need my crystal. But I'm so afraid. Okay, let's focus on trade and production for a little bit. You learn that Sunset Bay off the coast of Duchy Mozamba is a prime location for fishing. You learn that even the smallest of villages has a central market where locals can trade what they have grown or made with others who have different skills. He loves me not. Lottie, do you have a boyfriend? Not really. I just like to play with the flowers. I'm never ready for this interaction. I'm always doing other stuff. All of a sudden, the Duchess of Ursel rushes into the garden and points a sword at you. No, not at you, at your feet. Princess, don't move. Hold still. Failed by composure. You want to hold still, but you don't have the composure to hold your position without peeking. You look down where her sword is pointing. There's a snake in the grass. You can't help it. You squeak and jump back, and the snake tenses and prepares to strike. No! Your cousin pushes you aside, and the snake's fangs sink into her leg. Lottie! I wonder what all the long-term implications of this going wrong is. Too late. Juliana swings her sword and cuts off the snake's head. What's going on out here? Your daughter's been bitten by a milk viper. They're poisonous. Get an herbalist right away. I will treat my daughter. I certainly can't trust anyone here to keep her safe. I'm sorry. I don't feel good. We'll be returning home to Merva immediately. Your aunt has a point. Milk vipers are not natives to this area. That snake should never have been here. Someone may have tried to kill you. Will Charlotte be okay? I don't know. Gee. Okay, well, we need to talk to Father about the crystal. Dad, what happened to Mom's lumen crystal? It's in a safe place. Can I have it? No. But it's mine. Meddling with magic killed your mother. I don't want that to happen to you. Once you're crowned queen, I can't stop you from doing anything you want, but for now you're still a child. Oh. Sad. Okay. Still afraid. You learn how farmers in the Duchy of Marie rotate between fields for raising crops and fields that lie fallow. You learn that individual peddlers travel between villages and cities, some on foot with packs and mules and others riding horses or wagons. Sometimes different wagons group together to form a caravan. That is no fun, I know. What a spoil sport. A new outfit, oh wonderful. The castle seems quieter with Charlotte and Emery and Zara and their parents gone. It's certainly not empty though. It seems like we get more servants every day. I was so worried about Charlotte after that snake bit her. Her mother said she's okay, so I guess it turned out alright. Maybe she has a guardian angel. Yeah, I'm sure she's fine. Alright, Juliana. My father says I can't have the crystal until I'm queen, so we'll just have to wait. There may not be time to wait. The world is filled with dangers, and you'll need the powers of Illumine to fight them. You can't begin training until you're bonded with your crystal. Well, what else am I supposed to do about it? The crystal is probably held under guard in the royal treasury. You are the princess, and you should be able to find a way inside. Otherwise, we might have to take drastic action. I'll find a way. Alright, I'll try to get into the treasury. I got the tuxedo. Nice. What are my stats at without it, actually? 26s and then accounting? Yeah, okay. So let's continue the counting. You learn about the concept of diminishing returns, a point after which spending more on a particular project fails to improve it as much as the previous spending did. You study taxation and learn about how past monarchs demanded too much and drove peasants into ruin in order to collect it. Other monarchs demanded too little and drove whole domains into ruin by lacking the funds to sustain and defend them. You study the standard operating costs of the domain's military and the amounts needed to commission new ships, soldiers, and knights. One of the maids approaches for your attention. Milady, couriers have arrived from the Duke of Sedna. We have a Duke of Sedna? No, my lady. The Duchy of Sedna is in Talas. They brought you a letter, a gift. Condolences on the death of, deeply regret, best wishes. Oh, what a beautiful necklace. Something sparkly will make me feel better. Yes, I'm sure it will. Okay. We have access to the treasury, but I should up my present stat first. So I want to do that with bonuses. So for presents, I'm going to need yielding. The best bonus for yielding is attending court. Sitting on court sessions is not fun at all, but it pleases your father and may be important for the future. Okay. We're still afraid. So, being afraid gives bonuses to agility and faith. Agility would include dance, reflexes, flexibility. I'm not sure I particularly need any of these. Guess I can work my reflexes. I need to... Yeah, I need more yielding, but I also need to reduce anger. So yielding, or reduce afraid rather. So like more anger or more yielding. But yeah, currently getting a bonus to agility and faith. So let's make the most of it and go into reflexes. Your teacher walks around you, prodding a finger at you, slowly in order to train you in blocking those touches without triggering fear or faster breathing. You practice with a jump rope to increase the speed of your footwork. You practice solo tennis, hitting a ball against the wall repeatedly in order to train your hand and eye to react. And may now play sports on weekends, lovely. As you're walking, you spot a familiar figure in the palace gardens. It's the Duchess of Ursel. Maybe we should go and say hello. Then you notice that seated beside her is a woman in the robes of a priestess. They are very close together, and their hands gently touching. Allude. Looks like she's busy. You turn and walk in a different direction, as to not disturb them. At that moment you notice something unusual. Looks like someone just left the palace grounds by going over the hedge. Was that a servant, a thief, or an assassin? Calling the guards is too slow, and I can't actually climb the hedge. So let's just run. No, more afraid. You rush back to the safety of the stone tower. Better safe than sorry. Okay, well. Yielding, lonely, and cheerful. More yielding will be good. Also going to need to reduce angry. It's a 10 court. Still afraid. I'm going to have to reduce basically everything but yielding. That's annoying. Oh well, let's carry on with agility. You learn to relax and evaluate the tension in your body, then to practice the different types of motion available to each of your joints, twisting, shifting, and rotating. You practice curtsying, standing, and walking across the floor in a graceful manner. As you're walking up the stairs, a maid comes running down holding a towering pile of linen. You swiftly step aside and let her pass. Nice. Nailed it. Okay, let's try and reduce fear. Take to the court for a few games of tennis and feel the thrill of competition. Oh, good. I'm just on the cusp of being afraid or depressed. Lovely. You practice circling your arms and making kicking motions with your legs to stretch out your limbs. You practice bouncing motions with your arms and legs to increase the muscular effect. You practice walking on the arm of a partner and following their cues to pause and turn while keeping your eyes closed. You practice different partnered dance positions, closely held at a distance and non-contact, and the appropriate hand placement for each. No outfit, lovely. There is a man here to see you. He wishes crown funding for a project of his. Remember, the treasury is not unlimited. If you choose to invest, you'll have less money to work with later. Your Royal Highness, I have a plan to print books using metal letters that can be moved and reused. I need to borrow 850 lasai to assemble the metal and factory to mold and cast the type. With this system, we'll be able to create new books in a fraction of the time it takes now, and make copies to send all over the world. If it really works, this could be a very important invention. Yes, invest, absolutely. We'd be happy to invest in your venture. Lovely. Okay. A lot of pressure. And depression and not enough angry. Attending court gives +2 yielding, but it also gives depression and pressure. My yielding is quite low. But still, it should overtake the others. Okay, well now we are depressed. And I've got the tutu. Perfect. But depression will give us a bonus to expression and animal handling, so we might as well take advantage of animal handling and train with dogs. You visit the kennels and learn about the different breeds of dogs. You know about dog grooming and the most common diseases and injuries that dogs suffer from. You learn the standard commands for working with trained hunting dogs and retrievers. Banyan, Duke of Marie, Earl of Serenitatis. Your Highness, my sympathies for your loss. Even after all these years, I sometimes forget that my own mother will never be coming back. Thank you. However, I must call for your aid. The Ixionite occupation of the country of Imbrium has gone on for too long. Now is the time to push back. Oh no, my foreign affairs. No, there have been troubles in Ixion, but I don't know the details. I guess they're occupying Southern Marie. I don't know anything about the military. I don't want to fight. There must be a peaceful way to settle this. I will send for diplomats from Ixion to try and come to some arrangement. Thank you, Your Highness. Your Highness, if I may ask, that necklace you're wearing, where did it come from? It was a gift from the Duke of Setna. Then you have made arrangements with him. What sort of arrangements? Your Highness, this is a courting gift. The man wishes to gain your hand in marriage. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh dear. Nice. Gained good amount of yielding. But I've maxed out on depression. So I need to reduce my depression now. Sounds like general life advice. Increase cheerfulness to reduce depression. Balance it out with yielding. Let's see. Keep with dog training. Practice working with trained dogs in a small area. Tell them to stay, search, and fetch. You choose a young puppy and begin raising him to respond to you over all others. Skill in dogs is 50, lovely. The representative from Ixion is here. Be careful. No one wants to give up prizes they have won. You have my full support of my sister and myself, Your Highness. Let's get this over with. Oh, Bryn, Duchess of Hellas, Countess of Dysnomia. She seems cool. Your Royal Highness, thank you for granting me this audience. I'm sure we can come to an amicable agreement. Let bygones be bygones, you know? We'll forget about your unprovoked attacks on us, and we will transfer the rights to this little province. We can be good neighbors again without any lives being lost. Okay, well, I failed every single test. I mean, executing him is tempting. I'm definitely not going to be able to intimidate him. Surrendering the province seems like a terrible idea. I am good with accounting though, so let's offer him money. That is not acceptable. All land north of the river belongs to us. We are willing to offer some payment in exchange for the inconvenience you have suffered, but nothing more. I believe we could settle the matter for 8,000 golden lassi. That's more than all of Marie pays taxes in a year. It's far too much. Make a counter offer. You and I both know that that's more than the land is worth. 4,000 lassi is more than generous. Nonu Pantsu, welcome. You're more than welcome in this zone. Pantsu or otherwise. Welcome to court. Pants optional. Then we accept your generosity. Oh, at least that's over with. Lovely. Okay, we are still espresso depressed. And the yielding went down. So, we need to cheer ourselves up. Well, there's nice minus depression, that's good. That'll do. You attend services in the castle grove, letting the peace of the ritual calm your heart. Damn, still depressed. Well, I'm getting bonuses to expression. What will that give me? Decoration, instrument, voice? We'll do voice classes, why not? You practice deep breathing exercises to build up your ability to sustain a note. You learn the differences in resonance between the chest, the head, and the nose. You learn about different vocal ranges, from the most profound bass to the rare coloratura soprano. There are reports that a keithong has been sighted leaving the old forest. What's a keithong? It's a beast with the body of an enormous golden cat, a sharp beak, and spikes on its back. Yeah, it sounds like a household cat. Ah, several disappearances in southern Coloris are already thought to be the work of the creature. You remember decoration coming up for something I failed? I failed a lot of tests. Like I'm sure I failed all of them at some point. What do we do? Should we send hunters? The traditional policy on stray beasts is to hope that they return to the forest and stay there. Hunters are no match for such creatures. You would only make it angry and waste more lives. Do we just let it eat people? Everyone dies in the end. Yes, thanks, King. Oh, +1 depressed. Damn it. Also, there's a letter for you. Talaris, the Duke of Setna, will be arriving next week for an official visit. Lovely. Oh, I just keep gaining depression. This simulator's too realistic. Let's go to the other animal ones, why not? You walk around the stables meeting the royal horses. Hello, royal horses. Greetings, royal horses. Learning about their breeds and the names for different parts of their anatomy. Ah, I see. The most important horse parts. You visit the mews and learn about the different kinds of trainable birds, their preferred nesting sites, behavior, and food. Ah, Talaris, Duke of Sedna. He's so pretty. Ah, your highness, what a pleasure it is to meet you in person at last. Your description did not do you justice. Oh, I failed my flattery. I don't know how to deal with handsome older men paying me compliments. I was so pleased to hear that you had accepted my humble offering, a jewel for a jewel, but you are the most precious. I hope this is the only beginning of a mutually beneficial relationship. A union between us should bring stability to both our peoples. He really does want to marry me. I will aggressively, politely decline. I need to let him down gently. I'm not marrying you. I'm only 14. That may not have been gentle. I see. This 14-year-old girl doesn't want to marry me. That's strange. I regret the misunderstanding. Oh. Oh dear. Okay. Now we are yielding, which will give us bonuses to royal demeanor, history, and faith. So let's focus on presence. You practice wearing the royal regalia and looking at yourself in a mirror. Young as you are the queen of the blood. A queen of the blood, and you are your mother's daughter. You are a force to be reckoned with. Wonder how that turns out. I mean, I suppose letting him down gently, it's probably one of the many factors that could potentially avoid the civil war. I imagine avoiding the civil war or not is dependent on your relations with, like, the dukes and duchesses in general up to that point. So it's probably something to do with that. You stare at yourself in the mirror and practice focusing and transmitting energy with only your eyes, turning the intensity of your gaze on and off at will. You practice using different styles of breathing in order to feel more energetic and to let that energy surround you for others to share. You're requested to stand in judgment. A woman has been convicted of attempted murder and requests the mercy of the crown. Kevon, Earl of Io. Your Highness, this slattern dares to beg pardon when she admits that you tried to poison my sister under her own roof. Which sister? Like the nice one or the hot one? Corisande, the Duchess of Bede. Oh, neither. Is she alright? She is unharmed. We caught the culprit in the kitchens where anyone could eat her foul spew. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Is justice it is. Them devils killed me brother and broke me mam's heart. Lied to her, they did. When she went to see why he'd not come back. Said he'd gone for a soldier, but he never would. He weren't the only one neither. I waited 10 years for my chance to get my own back. That's justice. You see, she's completely unrepentant. Hang her and be done with it. I don't know what this is all about. Either way, murder's a serious crime. Yes, killing people is bad. Well, I don't know. Can we put her to work? This seems like a half measure. This woman failed in her goals. She harmed no one. I do not require her life. If she is kept far away from your sister's court, she will no longer be a threat. Oh. That didn't really come across as forgiveness. That came across as, like, forced labor. But okay. You're going to forgive her? I'm indenturing her, not pardoning her. She'll serve as a heavy laborer in Northern Ursul. She should be made an example of. She should be drawn and quartered in a public square. I have spoken. God bless you, miss. You're gonna go do hard labor, lady. Oh, I'm depressed again. Okay. Let's get composure and elegance up to 25 each. Practice deep breathing exercises, learning to find and maintain a sense of calm. You practice walking on the narrow trail, taking each step carefully and focusing on your balance. As you're walking one day in the gardens, you hear a strange sound, look up to see an owl flying overhead. A single dry leaf flutters in its talons. An owl flying in the open in broad daylight? That's unusual. I wonder if something attacked it. When you return to the castle, your father's waiting for you. There's a woman here to see you. She wishes crown funding for a project. Thank you for seeing me, Your Royal Highness. I come to you on behalf of the people. I wish to build a hospital where any citizen afflicted with disease can be brought for treatment. Putting all the sick people together, wouldn't that make them die even faster? I mean, that's just good sense. We are not interested. Get your hospital out of here. Whatever that is. Minus afraid, yep. You practice positive thinking, maintaining a good self-image and conditioning yourself to carry on rather than be frustrated by any past misstep. You practice sitting calmly while your teacher circles around you and makes unexpected loud noises at random intervals. You practice standing and walking with books balanced on your head. You practice the elegant way to hold and sip from a teacup, pinky slightly extended for balance. A new outfit, lovely. Remember that the Festival of the Good Lady is approaching. There will be public celebrations for the commoners, followed by a grand gala for the nobility. A grand ball? There will be dancing. As queen, you'll be expected to lead the procession and take part in the ceremonial planting, possibly give a speech. However, since you are not yet crowned, it is not required, and it may not be safe to expose you to the public. What do you mean not safe? Outside the castle you are less well protected. If anyone means you harm, think on it now, decide later. Word has come from the factory for books that you funded. They have assembled enough equipment to begin printing test pamphlets. As a royal sponsor, it is your right to decide the content of the first printing. Lovely. Let's go with... Pro-Lumen propaganda seems a little aggressive at the moment. Oh, that feels like it would pay off later. I guess poems praising mothers. A good idea. One of the ones to print is a memorial for my mother. How beautiful she was, strong and noble and wise. I don't want anyone to forget her. Damn this depression. That's very thoughtful of you. For a moment he blinks repeatedly and does not speak. There's a letter for you as well. It's from Brownie. I went to school with her. She's a couple of years older than me. Her mother is the Duchess of Mead. She's complaining that her mother still won't let her come home for the holidays. Apparently her uncle Kavan is absolutely furious about that woman's trial. Oh dear. I screwed that up. She's bored and looking for an adventure. Well, I don't have any to suggest to her. Oh no. Okay. Depressed again. This is a constant battle against depression, this role. We did get the coronet. Yes. Perfect. This is exactly what we need to be wearing. Okay. Royal demeanor. I can now focus on my presence. You plant your feet in a strong stance, imagining that you are a tree deeply rooted in the earth. You can feel the power within you and know that you will not be pushed aside. You practice focusing your attention on individuals as you pass, letting them feel a brief connection with you before you formally acknowledge them with a nod. You have a feeling that the run's not going well, but also that you're wrong about it be going bad. That seems like a very conflicted and vague feeling. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit a civil war again, but as long as I can get through that, it'll be fine. You practice being aware of your environment, seeing everything as it transpires around you and feeling that you're in control of it all. You practice giving commands to the council staff, neither asking nor demanding, but telling them what needs to be done. As long as you believe it to be true, they will as well. Brilliant. Today is the procession and planting for the Festival of the Good Lady. Will you be leading the parade? If you have any concerns about your safety, please stay here. The people will recover from disappointment. If we lose you, there's no recovery. I can lead the parade, but I wonder if making a speech would be a good idea. So I haven't done any training in public speaking, so maybe just leading the parade would be sensible. I'm not afraid. I'm going to be the best parade leader ever. My little girl. You prepare your best gown for the occasion, and then walk slowly through the town with your attendants. It would not be appropriate for you to wear a sword, but you do walk with a sturdy golden scepter that's taller than you are. My decoration, no. At the end of the route, you help the priestesses turn over the earth and the new tree to be planted. Then the new life is blessed, and all the attendants join in song. The procession regroups to return to the castle. See, that was successful. That went fine. Okay, I'm pressured now. Let's see what I should work on next. We've got our accounting and presence to a good level. If I want to do the travel to the birthday party event, I would need to maybe work on reflexes and archery. Or battlefield medicine. And some military training wouldn't hurt. But I'm gonna need to go into the Lumen. Which will require willfulness to do properly. So I'm gonna need to go the opposite of yielding now, go into willful. But my pressure is hit maximum from leading that procession. So now I just need to reduce the pressure. So, loneliness? Willfulness, loneliness. Reduce fear, but that's not particularly helpful. Lonely and afraid. Not particularly helpful. Lonely, cheerful? Yeah, let's do that. A walk in the fresh air helps you forget the burdens on your shoulders. Oh, the pressure of ruling. Okay. But this will give me bonuses to athletics and faith. Running, climbing, and swimming. Or meditation, divination, and law. I feel like I don't particularly need to level any of these. Let's try and accomplish what we're going to accomplish. So maybe instead... Let's see. Maybe divination. Would I get any negatives for training and military strategy? From being pressured? No, it would be neutral. So maybe let's just do that in the meantime. Strategy and logistics. You know about the types and amounts of food required for an army on the march, and how long they will remain edible. You study the strengths and weaknesses of different weapons and battle formations. Are you ready for the grand ball? No, not at all. All the nobles in the domain are here to see you, to see their queen. Oh no. You've finished dressing, and descend the stairs to make a grand entrance. All around, the rich and powerful pause in their activities to gaze upon you, the ruler of them all. My presence has succeeded. Yes, how long the army will remain edible on the march. That's right. You can always rely on good old-fashioned cannibalism. Let your eyes rest upon each in turn as you've been taught, impressing upon them that you are not a child but a queen. Your father waits for you at the bottom of the stairs and offers you his arm. The first dance is for us. He guides you gently around the dance floor, never rushing you. It's fun to dance with your father, but the look in his eyes is so sad. After this, you must choose your own partner. There are a number of men who hope to catch your eye. The Duke of Kegel alone has brought 3 eligible sons, all near your age. You look around the room, all your possible partners, which is to say, everyone. No one may begin dancing until you do. You can pick whomever you want, and you will not be denied. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Let's go with someone younger. I feel like that's least likely to offend anybody. But then I suppose we'll just please no one that way. You may be too young to hold a title in your own right, but you are not the youngest noble present. That honor falls to Adair, the young lord of Elaf, who is only 12 and a head shorter than you are. Next to him, you look positively adult. Hi, Elodie. Oh, he's terrified. He looks absolutely terrified at the prospect of having to dance with a girl. The little lord is too well bred to refuse you. Still, you'll have to be careful not to step on him. Dancing with a real partner feels quite different from dancing with your father. You knew him, you knew his steps like a part of you, and every move is a mystery. Unfortunately, you lose track of which steps you're supposed to do, when, and trip over your own feet. Between the dances, there are time for the guests to mingle, chat, and sample tiny bites of exquisite food. During a lull in the music, Banyan, the Duke of Marie, taps an elegant fingernail against a wine glass, letting the clear note ring out through the room. If I might have your attention, I believe you should offer our compliments to our lovely hostess. Her words of wisdom guide us through our difficulties. Everyone applauds politely. As the gala continues, you take the opportunity to observe nobles that you rarely see. There's Gwenelle, for instance, the young lady of Sudbury, only months older than you and due to finally inherit control of her duchy soon. Or Adele, the youngest daughter of the Duchess of Lyther, and a fierce sportswoman. She was a few years ahead of you at school and the absolute terror of the ball fields. No Bryony, she said her parents were leaving her stuck at school this season. The parents are here, dancing together. The Duke calls out, clutching his Duchess possessively tight. Strange that there's no sign of your cousins, though. Shouldn't they be here? Your aunt and uncle are here, of course. It would be scandalous if they hadn't come, Merva being so close by. It's nice to be able to enjoy time with friends and family, isn't it? I do wonder what sense magic is trying to pick up there. Oh well, let's go to the treasury. You overwhelm the guards with facts and figures, explaining that you need treasury access to adjust the royal budget, which may affect their pay packets as well as the taxes assessed on their friends and family. They stand aside. The glitter is dazzling, but some sixth sense draws you towards one of the little locked box in particular. This is what you need. This is the crystal that will make you illumine. You tuck the box into your pocket. You can show it to your mentor later and get instructions on what to do next. So stressed. Very pressured still. Study the kinds of equipment that soldiers need available, such as bedding, weapons, armor, medicine, bandages, and the tools to repair anything damaged. Study the effects of battle stress on troops, and how morale can turn the tide of combat. You wander downstairs to visit your father, and talk about the latest events in the domain. You move in with such enthusiasm, you don't realize your father isn't alone until it's too late to avoid him and his companion. Sirin, Countess of Miranda and Callisto. You are too kind, Jocelyn. Countess Sirin, not a member of your circles. She's a bit more than a decade your senior, far too old to have ever been your friend, and yet not at all old as noble women go. She has 2 minor titles and no husband, and your father's arm in her grasp. How dare she make a move on your father? We will shame her with silent scorn. You meet her eyes and imagine your mother's disapproving presence behind you. Her colour pales, and she releases a grip on your father's arm, mumbling an apology before hurrying out of the room. You have defeated her. Once she's gone, you raise an eyebrow at your father. Don't give me that look, young lady. She's a nice woman, nothing more. She wants something more. And it's not going to happen anytime soon. You should be careful how you deal with people like Siren. You need the goodwill of your nobles as well as your commodores. There haven't been any problems so far. As queen, you must be aware of everything around you. I am paying attention to what's around me. Yes. Yes, of course. Okay. Well, now we can visit the Duchess. I got it. What do I do now? Pick up the crystal with your bare hands, press it against your chest over your heart, and say, illuminate. Do it. Okay. Here we go. Illuminate. Willfulness and cheerfulness. You feel dizzy and both larger and lighter than you were before. Crystal has disappeared from view, but you know where it is. Wow. Sugoi. The priestess here is a friend of mine. I will come to your lessons in the faith and train you to use your powers. Oh, but I'm still so pressured. Okay, for Lumen, I need to gain some willfulness. But I'm still very pressured. I don't think pressure would have any negative effects on it. How's the military going? Let's try and get militaries to 25 each. You study different kinds of transport: animals, wagons, sledges, ships, boats, and boots. You study military recruitment and the importance of training and motivation and making soldiers who can trust and depend on each other. Oh, it's the time of the year to decide any necessary adjustments to the royal budget. The majority of the money we receive is already spoken for, but there's always some room for discretion. Based on the records and notes of current expenditures, if you maintain the current rate of tax, you will still have 5,121 gold lassai and 5 silver tilassai available for special projects. Well then. I think taxes are perfectly acceptable. They're fine as they are, as you wish. Okay. Ah, visiting the treasury can give me willfulness now. That's useful. I could work on that, or try and reduce pressure. But that's also going to increase cheerfulness. Yielding, lonely, and cheerful. I'll do for now. Oh, I'm happy. This wasn't the plan. Okay, well this gives me bonuses to conversation and athletics. Public speaking, court manners, and flattery. I mean, those all seem important in general, but I would like to start working on Lumen skills. Feels unoptimal not to get bonuses to my skill ups though. Feels like I should have some court manners and flattery. I can't remember where those come up, but I'm pretty sure that would make sense. You review the correct greetings for guests according to rank and when to extend your hand to another. All nobles expect their due honors. You learn that it's important to make eye contact when saying nice things about someone. Oh. You are requested to stand in judgment. A man's wife has been convicted of the murder by... A man has been convicted by the murder by strangling of his wife, right? He does not deny the act, but requests a pardon that he might be set free. If you admit you killed your wife, why do you think I'm going to set you free? Save me, your majesty. It wasn't my fault. Demons made me do it. Everyone knows the power of magical beasties. They used me. They twisted my fingers into chains. My wife found me screaming. She tried to shake me and the chains wrapped around her. I need the priestesses to bless me and make me clean again. Demons that make you attack people. Is that even possible? Well, pardoning him seems like such a silly thing to do. Execute him. Although, I don't think any option here goes well. I don't care whether there were demons or not, you're still a murderer and your life is forfeit. You'll be hanged in public as a deterrent to future criminals. He opens his mouth to argue with you further, but then his shoulders slump. Yes, Your Majesty. Okay. We're going to need to up willfulness quite dramatically. You visit Royal Treasury and check available funds. You have 5,120 gold lassai and 94 silver to lassai. Lovely. Still very cheerful. As a person of highest rank within the domain, no one may sit at any formal event unless you give them permission, and no one must ever turn their back on you. If they do, you're intended to recognize the insult. You study rules for formal dining, including the proper utensils for different dishes. As the Queen, no one will comment on your mistakes, but they will notice them. You learn that flattering comments have the best impact when kept short. Gushing makes people feel awkward. You learn that it is always better to compliment people for their personality and their choices rather than their physical attributes. That's quite smart in general. You've word of an unfortunate incident at the gallows when the man you judged was sent to be executed. Yeah, the decision on what to do with this man, it feels like it goes horribly wrong whether you imprison or execute him. I don't know what pardoning him does, but pardoning him seems like a silly idea unless you have like the magical sense to figure it out. As he was led to the platform, he suddenly lashed out with explosive magical power, killing several guards and spectators while making his escape. The population is buzzing with rumors of a secret cabal of evil lumens who sacrifice innocents in their dark rituals. Oh, these rituals are getting pretty dank. Like how visiting the dungeons has no effect. Probably because I haven't imprisoned anyone. Lurkin. Welcome, Mascon. Feel free to hang out at the back. You will oversee. Okay. We'll do some public speaking classes. You practice tongue-twisting sequences of syllables to improve your enunciation. You take deep breaths and practice speaking loudly and clearly, projecting your voice to every corner of a room. You memorize lists and sonnets, and then recite them for your teacher and any castle staff she can round up to serve as an audience. New outfit. Wonderful. I regret to inform you that Fabian, the Earl of Titan and Duke Regent of Elath, has passed away. This isn't really a surprise. He was pretty old. The problem is the political implications. With the control of Elath in doubt, it falls to the crown to make decisions. Young Lord Adair would not reach his 15th birthday for over 2 years. He requires a regent. His stepmother, Aris, the Duchess of Lila, has petitioned that the boy be left in her care. This would, however, leave her in personal control of 2 neighbouring duchies, which is generally forbidden. Who is this teacher, anyway? That's a very good question. The faith teacher and lumen teachers are actual characters, but I don't think it specifies who's teaching us anything else. This is a very good point. I mean, she is the, like, you know, the royal ruler of this place. I imagine there's like a small army of teachers for her. There's probably an individual teacher for every one of these subjects. Almost the entire eastern border. I don't know anything really bad about it, though. Okay, I haven't... I'm normally quite good with my internal affairs, but not this time. The boy does have a living grandfather, the Earl of Ishtar, or you might appoint an unrelated noble to act in his stead. The Earl of Ishtar has suggested another possibility. You and Adair are both young and not too far apart in age. He requests that you accept the boy as your future husband and keep him here at the castle. Marrying him does seem like a politically strong move, but I don't want to. So what we will do is we will send him to the uncle. What about your brother, Armand? He'll be a safe pair of hands to watch over a dear. As you wish. Okay. I'm so cheerful. Okay, let's just keep pumping up willfulness. I would get 2 willfulness out of sneaking out. Willful and angry. Sneaking out would be good. Take the pressure down. Sneak out to the castle and have a little fun. Enjoy your freedom, but your father won't like it. Okay, still big cheerful. But now we have the tea dress. Oh, that's very cute. Very cute. We've got to stick with this though. So let's work on court manners and flattery once more. You study the traditions of ballroom etiquette, how to politely accept or defer an offer, and how to avoid the impression of attachment to an individual. You memorize the correct title for every servant in the castle. Treating servants with respect ensures good service. The cat has arrived. Welcome, last meow. I can officially appoint you courtroom cat. We don't have one yet. Enjoy. I'll leave the rats in your care. Visual elements are best to flatter on first meeting. They are expected to be noticed right away. If you spend more time with someone, suddenly complimenting your attire will ring false. Small personal details help make the receipt of your flattery feel that you have truly noticed them, which is always better than a simple "how nice you look." There's a woman here to see you. She's a musician and wishes crown patronage, which means money. It's the Bean. Your Royal Highness, if you accept me as a member of your court, I'll immortalize you in word and song. I have dabbled in musical styles from many countries that can entertain your guests and lighten your evenings. Oh. No foreign intelligence or intrigue. She sings a little ditty to demonstrate her skills with the lute. She's actually pretty good. I don't trust her. I'm sure she's lovely, but I'm afraid not. Thank you, but we are not interested. Not today, court musician. Go play your cheerful tunes elsewhere. Okay, willful and lonely would be fine. Or willful and angry. Sneak out. Okay, so now we should be willful. So we start working on Lumen. Willful's very good. Intrigue, military, and Lumen is nice. Very nice. Willful is a good mood. A big mood, you might say. Okay, let's go to Lumen classes. We'll start with Sense and Resist. Close your eyes and learn to feel the magic inside of you. Increase your awareness of your own thoughts and emotions, making it more difficult for mind-affecting magic to twist your reactions. A letter from young Lord Adair. So far he's enjoying himself with your Uncle Armand and Muzamba. He says the trees look different and there are a lot more frogs. He looks forward to visiting the lookout fort at Shepherd's Point. Oh, how cute. Okay, I've maxed out willfulness, so we should try and neutral the other moods a little bit. So we'll attend service. Practice using small amounts of magic and feeling that power outside of yourself. Your mentor summons up magical energies to strike the nearby ground so you can learn to sense someone else's spells in use. You learn to consciously project a magical field through your thoughts, blocking outside magic from touching your mind, but only when you have the energy to consciously resist. You gain innate resistance to light and dark. Well, I only have resistance to dark. You can now see in the blackest caves or stare into the sun without going blind. One day, I'll defeat that sun. My logistics and trade. Interesting that logistics and trade is what I need to notice what this flash of light is. Maybe it's the firework or like a signal flare or something. Staring up into the sky at your window, you notice a strange flash of light. A falling star, pretty. Okay. So I've got sense and resist magic to 30, so we'll go into wield magic. You learn to summon a small glowing light, which you can then move around independently. You learn how to cast rays of white light, which can banish shadows or blind your opponents. You learn to create tiny discs of solid light, which can fly through the air and cut into targets. New outfit. Yes, the magical girl outfit. I have unpleasant news to report. Whoops. Unpleasant news. Talarist, the Duke of Sedna, has instituted high tariffs and trade restrictions at the Alath border. There's trouble afoot. Business is disrupted, and there are growing shortages of supplies. You have a large amount of discretionary funds remaining in the treasury. You can easily handle this situation. We will send emergency aid, why not? And the royal treasury will pay to keep the people fed. Very well. Excellent. So far, so good. Yay! Magical girl transformation. Complete with tutu and midriff. But I think, we'll keep ourselves regal for the time being. By concentrating, you can create a wave of discontent, which panics or enrages animals in the area. You learn to create a blade of solid light, which you can wield like a sword to slice through flesh and stone alike. Yes, that's what I want. So I'm also going to want to learn swordsmanship, actually. You learn to direct a beam of searing light through the end of a staff, burning whatever you point at. By concentrating, you can create a wave of discontent, which panics, confuses, or enrages other people around you. Actually, 4 sword skills. What will I need? Weapons. Angry. Angry is good for weapons, okay. My lady, there are letters for you. Another letter from Brody. Why does she keep writing me? We're never even friends. She says she's bored and lonely, and she's looking forward to seeing me at Gwinnell's birthday party. Ah yes, the deadly birthday party. That's great. Gwinnell's about to turn 15. She'll be Duchess of Sudbury for real now. This other letter must be my invitation to a birthday celebration next week. Gwinnell and I were friends at school. This will be a big event, but it's also a long way to travel. A lot of things can happen on the road. Yes, yes they can. Let's save here. Birthday. Okay. This might kill me, but I think it's worth finding out. If it kills me, I'll reload. It'll be good to see my friends. I'm just curious. Let's see. Wolfiness is very high. Willful and angry. Yielding. Sports is the only thing that actually increases... Sports in the dungeons increases anger. Wield magic is getting very high. You learn to consciously project a magical shield around your body, blocking intrusion, a powerful technique, but you can't keep it up for long. You gain increased resistance against heat and cold, becoming comfortable in different weather and environments and able to sip hot soup without burning your tongue. You learn to shape light into images of things that are far away, or things that don't exist at all. You learn to create a powerful explosion of light, burning those caught within and blinding others who look at it. You learn how to make use of images to wield your other powers at a great distance. You have nothing more to learn. Aha, here it is. On your journey to Sudbury, your carriage is attacked by bandits. I failed my archery and reflexes. Yeah, I thought so. You look down in shock at the arrow, which has buried itself in your side. Outside you can hear screams and curses, but it feels unreal. The world is centered around pain. I always wonder if magic can get you through this bit, but I don't think it can. You struggle with the arrow, afraid to pull it loose. You had a story somewhere about pushing arrows through the body, so you brace yourself and give it a shove. Unfortunately, this only drives the arrow deeper into your vital organs, turning a painful wound into a fatal one. Okay, yeah. Magic isn't enough to survive that. I will send my regrets. Oh, that was a terrifying vision of the future. Oh, horrifying. Back to our magic classes. All my friends were at Gwenelle's party and I don't get to go. I sent Gwenelle a letter saying that I couldn't come, but it was her mother, the Countess, who replied. I think she's insulted that I didn't consider the event important enough to attend. Oh well. Let's see. Guess I can just keep increasing angry. Let's go with resistance sense magic. Close your eyes and call out when you detect your mentor casting a silent spell beside you. You'll learn to detect ongoing enchantments, such as blessed weapons that can do magical damage. You learn how to quickly flare magical shields around you to deflect an incoming attack. Okay, well, that might have been relevant. This uses much less energy than a constant shield, but it requires good timing to be effective. You learn how to maintain a low-level deflection shield, so that magical attacks not directly targeted at you will slide harmlessly aside. This doesn't need much power, so you can keep it up for long periods of time. Ah, here it is. The Civil War. The Duchess of Lila. Matters have come to a crisis. Aris, the Duchess of Lila, has declared civil war. What? Apparently, she feels that you're a weak leader. Unfit to be queen, and has managed to sway several others to her banner. Who is against me? A number of minor earls and countesses. The Duchess of Mead and the Duke of Kiel. The Duchess of Sudbury is with Lila. But Gwenelle's my friend. Sudbury is completely surrounded by rebel duchies. She may not have a choice. The situation in Hellas and Marie is less clear. What forces can she muster? What are we still holding? We have 4 battalions, 2 companies and 1 platoon. The naval side is, of course, useless in this conflict. By my estimate, Aris can field 5 battalions, 2 companies and 1 platoon. That's not good. It will come down to a question of strategy. We have that printing factory, right? Get them to write up sheets to denounce Aris. If the soldiers read those, they might change their minds about following her. I hope it will be effective. There are ways to increase the number of soldiers you have available. We could offer to pardon various imprisoned criminals in exchange for military service. Do I even have imprisoned criminals? But sure, why not? Alright, let's do that. Criminals probably know how to fight. Very well. Forces are in motion, but it will take time to reach their peak. Okay. Still got the willfulness. War did be declared. Let's play tennis. Okay, I am getting bonuses to military currently. So, let's take a break from the magic training. Go back into military. Although, naval strategy isn't going to help, but at the same time I'm going to max out at 50 for strategy and logistics. Oh well, that's fine. You learn about how units reinforce each other on the field, gaining strength through proximity and the covering of weaknesses. You study the effects of different kinds of battle terrain for both offense and defense. You learn about the support costs created by support. The more equipment you have, the more people and animals are needed to move them. And then those people and animals also need to be fed and equipped. You know about the difficulty of obtaining new supplies from the field. Enemy civilians may hide or destroy supplies rather than let them fall into your hands. And friendly civilians may not stay friendly if robbed. The negotiator for the rebels has arrived to speak with you. Surrender now and I'll be lenient. We are not here for our surrender. We're here for yours. You have one chance to avoid needless bloodshed. Agree to marry one of Duchess Erissa's sons. She'll become your regent and guide your domain into stability. You'll be allowed to maintain a figurehead title. I refuse. I am the queen. I'll not give in to threats. And since we cannot come to an agreement, we'll meet on you on the battlefield. Fine. So be it. Oh, I can tour the barracks. That's fun. Minus willful and plus pressure. I don't want to lose any willfulness just yet. I've got a good amount in military for the time being, so we'll finish off our Lumen training. Oh, let's do a bonus save just to be safe. Yeah, sense and resist. You learn how to directly counter offensive magic with your own power, so that you can burn out a spell that someone else has cast. This is very dangerous if the other spell is too powerful. Your increased skill and power gives you innate resistance to mind-affecting magic. That's nice. Your understanding of the flow of power gives you increased resistance to damage caused by magic, even without a shield. You can still be hurt, but less than an ordinary human will be. You learn about the difference between different kinds of magical signatures, so you can tell roughly what a spell you detect is meant to achieve. You expand your magical perceptions to give you some idea of where a detected spell was cast from, and how long ago. You learn to detect the latent power that signifies a lumen even when he or she is not actively working magic. Very powerful. War rages for control of Nova. As defending queen, you're required to take personal control of your forces. Your control of magic enhances your claim to divine right of rulership. Your lumen powers cause chaos among your enemies with explosive displays and waves of terror. You'd like the strength to take on a whole army by yourself, of course, but they don't need to know that. Battles are won and lost. Fallen soldiers decorating the landscape. The final outcome is a victory for your side. Now, magic is very strong. Your forces sweep through the rebellious duchies and are met with cheers by the local population. Arias, the ringleader, is executed, and the other rebels forced to pay tribute to keep their holdings. Of course, there is also a cost paid in lives. Total casualties were 3/4 of a battalion on your side and 3 battalions amongst the rebels. Of course, there are no more rebel soldiers now. They are once more your loyal subjects. Major P, please nerf. Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to the Future Kingdom patch notes for any any changes in casters. I'm hoping for some rogue buffs. Okay. Nearly done with willfulness. Willful also gives bonuses to intrigue as well as military. It's really nice. But we'll finish off sense magic and then do naval strategy. You learn that the sea is not something you hold, it is something you travel across. And naval strategy ensures your free travel while denying it to your enemies. You study different kinds of ships, their names, designs, and the number of crew needed for each. You expand your senses, learning to detect spells and magical creatures at a greater distance. You learn to detect lingering traces of strong magic from the past, even when a spell is long since completed. I have nothing more to learn about magic, lovely. Things have been so unsettled lately. Everyone's on edge. We need something cheerful. You could hold a tournament. Oh, I haven't learned my sword skills yet. I mean, I could have done swords before magic, but then I wouldn't have had the magic and the military for the Civil War. It's hard to get everything I want. So I know you can do sword duels in this tournament. What a good idea. Knights, jousting, musicians, all sorts of competitions. Everyone loves a contest. What will you offer as prizes to the winners? Employment. The winners will have the option of taking up royal appointments. It's a recruitment drive. Very well, I'll draft the announcements. Leave him to his work. As you move through the hall, your eye falls upon a vase of flowers. Pretty, but apparently not getting enough water. The leaves on one blossom have shriveled. My divination and decoration has failed. Someone on whole duty is being lazy. Those flowers should be replaced. You continue up the stairs to your room, where a maid is waiting for you. Ah, I see. Divination is what would save me from this gift. My lady, a gift has arrived from Kegel. From the Duke? No, my lady, a merchant house, I believe. It was sent with a shipment down the Kavala River. You tear open the brightly coloured paper to find chocolates. There's a little card with the box. With our compliments, the House of Krelat. All of a sudden, your puppy, who's usually so well behaved, growls at the box of chocolates and lunges at it. Bad dog. Chocolate isn't good for you. Silly thing, making such a fuss. We will save it for later. I don't feel like candy right now. Maybe later. Yeah, maybe you don't need it right now. Alright. Mood is angry. Which will give us bonuses to weapons and military. So, let's get started on swords. Take up a wooden sword and practice correct grips and stances. You practice slow swings to move your blade to precisely marked targets, building up your muscles of control. You drill with a partner, attacking and blocking in carefully timed patterns. Ah, I nearly got my sword skill up in time for the tournament. This is the week of the general tournament. Nobles and commoners alike have turned out to compete against each other. The people will be pleased if you participate in their games, however it would expose you to danger. Okay. I don't have very high skill in any of these, but let's try the fencing with my little 30 skill in swordsmanship. And if I die, I'll reload. Here, the devotees of the blade can challenge each other to duels fought only for points, not blood and honor. Partial success, that's funny. I figured that might happen. It is immediately obvious that your opponent is more skilled than you are, but she draws out the match longer than necessary before driving you out of the ring. Perhaps she was afraid of hurting you. At least you aren't too embarrassed. Yeah. Of course, you take the, future queen into a dueling arena. No one's going to hurt her. And like, if they did, it's either an active assassination attempt or they'd be accused of that. So, a shame I couldn't compete properly, but at least I got to take part. All the winners are announced and displayed to great cheers. As near queen, you place flower garlands around their necks. All of a sudden, a man approaches from the winner's platform. It's Kevin, the Earl of Io. In one hand, he carries an armored gauntlet, and the other a sword. Oh, Kevin. My family's blood is on your hands. Eris, the ringleader of the rebellion. She was his mother. He casts the battle glove to the ground with a clatter and raises his sword, pointing it at you. I challenge you, Elodie, a life for a life. He's challenged you to a duel. Doesn't he know you could burn him to a crisp just by waving your hand? Kill him with magic. That's great. Okay, hang on. I want to see what happens if I duel him. If it goes badly, I'll just kill him with magic. Very well. I'll meet your challenge. As the challenge party, you have the choice of weapons. Ah, swords or staves. I'm so bummed out I didn't get my swords up in time for this. This is fun. Bring me my sword. The crowd seems not to realize at first that this is a blood match and not entertainment. Or perhaps they do. And their cheering is all the louder for it. Kevin's rage fills him with great strength, but makes him erratic and unpredictable. Worse, he's armored, and seems willing to settle for nothing less than your death or his. Unfortunately, your exertions in the tournament have drained your strength. You can barely keep your guard up. Before you can begin to work out some way to safely forfeit, you have fallen. Oh no! Wow, what a horrible vision of the future if I challenged him to a sword duel. Oh well, guess it's time for him to die. Without a further word, you direct the full force of your magical wrath at the Earl of Io. There is a horrible scream and the smell of burning flesh. I decline. Kevin's sword falls to the ground beside his gauntlet. He won't be needing either anymore. After the tournament, a minor tragedy is revealed. One of the stewards apparently had an incredible sweet tooth and dared to steal a piece of your recently received chocolates. He had a sweet tooth, the chocolates were poisoned. When you ask questions, it turns out that the merchant house which supposedly sent you this present never existed. Someone has tried to kill you, but you don't know who. Very unfortunate. Okay. My anger went down. Okay. I'm gonna need to up my other weapon skills if I want to keep going with sword. Let's do that. I kind of want to get naval strategy to 25 as well. Archery. Naval strategy. Study different kinds of ships, their speed, maneuverability, and standard complement of weapons. You learn about the requirement for all civilized sailors to rescue the crew of a sinking ship, even an enemy. You learn how to twist and wax bowstring from a variety of fibers. My lady, your father wishes to speak with you. He says it's urgent. Fine, I'm coming. You find your father standing over a map of the coastline, his face grave. Ships have been sighted on approach from Shanjia, not trade ships. This is a war fleet. What? Within a week, they'll be within Nova waters. Within 2, they could reach the capital. Then we will fight to defend ourselves. You can try to use the treasury funds to hire additional soldiers, but it may be difficult on short notice. Do so. Fine, we'll do that. You'll need to draw up naval strategy for our ships to carry out. You could choose to act as admiral and lead in the fleet in person, but the danger to you will be very great. Unless you think your personal skills will make the difference, I strongly advise against it. Okay, well my naval skills aren't particularly high, but I know that a strong magic would help a lot here, so I'll try and direct the fleet. The risk is mine to take. You have your mother's heart. There is one more thing. I hesitate to ask, but an invasion? This is the sort of disaster for which a Lumen's power may be worth the cost. If the fleet could be destroyed before they reached our waters, many lives would be saved. I don't know any magic that could sink a whole fleet. I'll have to talk to my mentor. You find the Duchess of Ursel in her guest quarters. A fleet from Shanjia is attacking us. Is it possible to sink them all with magic? It is easy enough to attack one soldier, one ship, as a demonstration, but to obliterate an entire fleet, you would need an immense amount of power, spread over a large area, more than any one lumen could control. If you tried to raise that much power yourself, you would die. No, not could, would. So it's hopeless. We'll just have to rely on our soldiers. We will fight regardless. I mean, I can sink some ships. Willfulness went down. The fear is making me less angry. Okay. Well, time for the military uniform. That's a good look. Mage underpowered, please buff? Yeah. Yeah, if the caster class can't defeat an entire fleet of ships in one go, what even is the point? Alright. Upping naval strategy now might help, but I really need to up my weapons. So I'm not going to have a lot of time. You practice moving with a blade, sidestepping, charging, and lunging. You practice using your blade to disarm opponents or shove them backwards. Skill in swords is now 50. You learn to cut, fletch, and tie arrows, and about different styles and sizes of bows, long, short, and recurve. Danger on the high seas. Ships close in on each other, angling into range. Failed my climbing test. You take position with the spyglass, watching the enemy movements closely and shouting out any necessary changes in plan. The Shanjian forces greatly outnumber the Novans. This is unlikely to end well. Only had more soldiers available. Your skill in long-range magic makes you as effective as a cannon, and more maneuverable, but there are far too many ships for you to take out each one individually. The eventual outcome is not in your favor. The Novan ships are sunk or scattered as the Shanjian forces press towards landfall. Oh no! Your own vessel is holed and left to sink, and the lifeboats fall victim to flaming arrows. You and your sailors are forced to leap into the water and swim for shore. I never learned any swimming. This is a death, I think. Yeah. Swimming always seems so easy, so even fun. Little children can do it. It's not so much fun you're weighed down by clothing, miles from land, and surrounded by enemies. If anyone could see you clearly, it'd probably help. Your sailors would willingly risk their lives to haul you to safety, and your enemies would surely love to capture you intact. But you're just one tiny figure lost in a dark sea. You struggle against the waves for as long as you can, but your limbs grow ever more heavy. Oh, well, that's a bad one. Death by drowning. Oh no. Okay, well. Guess I'll stay in the capital. No. Well, I had a horrible vision of the future if I was to take to sea. So I will stay here. There's too much to do here. I can't go to sea. Much to do. What week was that? I'm not sure. I lost track. Alright. Really angrily playing tennis these days. Still on the uniform. Actually, I don't want to overflow on sword training until I've got archery and pole arms to 25 each. I should have time to train in weapons. You learn about a variety of long weapons, from the quarterstaff to the spear to the halberd and glaive. You learn to cut, fletch, and tie arrows, and about the different styles of bows, long, short, and recurve. Danger on the high seas. Ships close in on each other, angling into range. The Shanjian forces greatly outnumber the Novans. This is unlikely to end well. If only had more soldiers available. The eventual outcome is not in your favor. The Novan ships are sunk or scattered as the Shanjian forces press towards landfall. Many good soldiers were lost today, but Nova's troubles have not ended. Since you have failed to repel the invasion, the Shanjian fleet will soon land and their troops will begin to progress towards your capital city. The remaining soldiers will hold them off as long as possible, of course, but the main strength of your military has been exhausted. Nova's future looks bleak. Alright. Mood's looking dire. Should reduce my willfulness if I can. Should need yielding. Yielding without reducing anger. Yielding to press pressured? That should be fine. It's a 10 court. Right. I'll need to do a lesson on polearms and then swords. Why does war have to be so complex in this game? War is complex. There's a lot of moving parts to a war. And there's a lot of skills relevant to war, so... there's a lot going on. Alright, so... Morning class, we do polearms. And then we do swords. You practice walking while carrying a long weapon, getting the feel for its size and weight and learning to maneuver without banging it into anything unintentionally. You learn the basic stances, grips, and positions for staff fighting, and how to block a blow without crushing your fingers. No outfit. You practice moving with a blade, sidestepping, charging, and lunging. You practice using a blade to disarm opponents or shove them backwards. The invasion of Nova is proceeding. Your coastline is under Shanjian control. Soldiers have marched through villages, trampling fields and frightening citizens. A diplomatic delegation from Shanjia has requested access to the castle to discuss terms, most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies, and surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem you have no choice. You prepare yourself as best you can to meet with the representatives from Shanjia. You expected diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect the handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you. A man announced by your servants as Togami, King of Shanjia. Is he really their king? Why would a king come all the way here? And he's a lumen too. Togami, my dear young lady, how difficult this must be for you. So much responsibility at such a tender age. My composure. Don't pretend to be my friend or you're killing my people. Temper, temper, princess. After all, I'm here to save your people. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better to settle things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as their overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the power of a lumen. I propose a formal duel, my powers against yours. The winner takes control of Nova, the loser dies. Your game by your rules for my life? That doesn't sound fair to me. The rules of formal dueling have been passed down for centuries and must be upheld. It is important that we do this by the ancient codes. Why should I? If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal Lunan challenge, I'll call off the invasion, even if I win. Really? I swear it by the gods. Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I'm willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I can sense his power, it's so strong. I've learned everything I possibly could, but he's at least as good as I am. I don't like this, but what choice do I have? Well. Trained as much as I could. We'll accept his terms. Then I must. Togami explains the rules of formal dueling to you, including a carefully inscribed circle of wards which will contain the effects of any powers you wield, protecting bystanders from danger. And then it is time to begin. Resist magic success. I've just remembered where the decoration skill check comes in. It's just occurred to me. You trade attacks. One spell sensed and countered by another, reserving your strength as much as possible. It might almost be exciting if your life weren't on the line. On the edge of the seat. This is it. This is the final duel. You need to end this quickly before his experience allows him to come up with a trick you can't defeat. He's used to dealing with magical attacks, but he might not be expecting a physical one. Perhaps if you rushed him, you could take him off guard. Up close, he couldn't use his fancy spells, but what would you do then? You still have to use magic to win. You can't just grab him and bang his head against the floor. Perhaps you could focus your power into the shape of a sword and attack him with that. Or maybe if you could distract him somehow. You could cast a spell that he couldn't block. Magic sword. Now it's the duel of a magical swordsman. Go! Motes of shimmering moonlight coalesce into a weapon in your hand. Oh. You lunge, but he ducks under your blade and rolls away. Before you can regain your target, he summons up a shield of red fire that surrounds him totally. Now it ends. The fire sweeps forward, devouring your vision. Right. Apparently I needed reflexes as well. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Reflexes. I failed the reflexes test. Damn. I only saved last on week 34. And then week 27. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have to leave sword at 50 and go into reflexes. I was hoping to just up sword as much as I could, but I didn't realize I needed reflexes as well. Right. Reflexes. I could have done reflexes earlier, I didn't realize at all. Reflexes gets a bonus from being afraid, that's quite funny. Well, that's not going to help. Does it get any negatives? No, no negatives. That's fine. Right. So, one more in swords should get me to 50. Then reflexes at 30, that's not too bad. So weapons, swords, agility, reflexes. This is going to be close. Practice running at high speed back and forth over a small area, making quick turns and changes in direction. Actually, I wonder, actually, I should get a bonus to... I should get a bonus to reflexes if I put the 2-2 on. Could the 2-2 save me? Is the 2-2 the way forward to win? It might be. Danger on the high seas. Yes. Okay. Swords is up. At willfulness. Yeah, 2-2 boost agility. Or we could... I mean... Magical Go would be appropriate for the duel. But... let's see. I think 50 skills. I think 50 reflexes is enough. So just one more class and reflexes would probably do it, but the 2-2 certainly won't hurt. I don't think outfits put stats at the max. So like, even though wearing the magical glove outfit would be appropriate, that's not actually helping. We will we will wear the 2-2 to our magic duel. I'll be the magical swordsman with the 2-2 of agility boosting. Alright. I only need... actually, I've got enough reflexes to do 2 lessons in it. Here we go. Tennis. I knew tennis would save me in the end. You practice tennis against multiple opponents, learning to judge at a glance when a ball is too far away to reach in time. You practice chasing a small dog through the castle gardens, leaping over uneven stones and dodging through branches. You practice touch-blocking skills at full speed, deflecting hands before they can reach you. You practice running through a field, dodging balls that are thrown at you from all sides. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball. Okay, let's do this. The diplomat. Oh my god, look at all these failed composures. Whoop, yep, then I must. It's time to begin. You trade attacks, one spell sensed and countered by another. Reserving your strength as much as possible might almost be exciting if your life went on the line. You need to end this quickly before his experience allows him to come up with a trick you can't defeat. He's used to dealing with magical attacks, but he might not be expecting a physical one. Perhaps if you rushed him, you could take him off guard. Up close, he couldn't use his fancy spells, but what would you do then? You still have to use magic to win, you can't just grab him as bang his head against the floor. Perhaps you could focus your power into the shape of a sword and attack him with that. Maybe if you could distract him somehow, you'd cast a spell that you couldn't block. Magic sword. Moots of shimmering moonlight coerced into a weapon in your hand. Moon Prism Sword! You first lunge, he dodges, rolling to the ground, but you recover quickly and strike again. In the confined space of the warded circle, there is nowhere for him to run. The final strike of your moon blade parts his head from his shoulders. You have won. The moon blade, I knew it. With the power of the moon blade, the strength of moon swords. The Dark Souls Sword of Moonlight, exactly. We won the final magic duel with the Moonlight Greatsword. Excellent. Fantastic. Oh, wow. That was, intense. This is the furthest I've ever seen in this game. We just decapitated the head of the opposition. Juliana. Psst, I need to talk to you. What is it? That priestess, Celine. She's a lumen. I can sense it. I know. What do you mean you know? If you knew that, why didn't you tell me? You didn't need to know. Your job is managing the domain. Some of us have other duties. Our missions have been passed down for centuries, little princess. We are here to train you. You don't need to know any more than that. Oh, I failed my law? Yeah, what could possibly wait for me now? Order her to explain. Oh, wow, I failed presence and everything. You're supposed to obey me. I ordered you to tell me everything you know. That would require more time than we have available. If you survive, you will learn. Ah. What? What? I don't even know what to do anymore. How do I even survive this far? Guess I'll dress back as a queen. Well, I'm still getting bonuses to weapons and military. I mean, I could keep going with swords now. Oh, I need to get archery and polearms. Wow, that was tense. Okay. Don't know what's happening next. We'll continue shortly. I am going to have a quick idle meeting for a minute. Be right back. Now that we are the wielder of the Moonlight Greatsword, I want to keep working on swords. Who knows what I need now, though? Like, I just failed a bunch of lore tests that seemed really important. What would I need to train lore? Lore is a faith skill, of course. I had an opportunity to do faith at the start. Faith gets bonuses from fear and yielding. Well, that's no good. That's no good at all. Let's do archery and polearms. Then to cut, fletch, and tie arrows, and different sizes of bows, long, short, and recurve. And a variety of long weapons. Oh, wow. Once you defeated the king of Shanjia in a duel, the invasion was meant to be over. In practice, it is not quite so easy to expel a foreign army from your lands, especially when their leadership is falling apart. The remaining Shanjian generals seem surprisingly eager to go home and left without a fuss. But a large number of soldiers have broken ranks and run amok, looting and pillaging their way through Nova just for fun. A number of royal holdings have been damaged and valuables stolen. Not only do you lose them, but you have to pay for repairs. With so many renegades on the loose, Nova seems likely to have severe bandit problems for years to come. When Togami died, he left behind a crystal. A mauve lumen crystal, which glitters of pink where it catches the light. Such a pretty bauble from such an ugly event. Since Nova won the duel, this crystal is now your rightful prize. You have no idea what to do with it. From now, you lock it away in the royal treasury. Okay. I need to start reducing that willfulness. Yielding, depressed, pressured. Right, one more lesson in polearms, and then I should be able to carry on with swords. You practice walking while carrying a long weapon, getting the feel for its size and weight and learning to maneuver without banging it into anything unintentionally. You learn the basic stances, grips, and positions for staff fighting, and how to block a blow without crushing your fingers. You practice standard attacks and sweeps with a long staff. No outfit. You spar with a partner, trading blows while looking for openings to tag each other. You begin to work with a metal blade, getting the feel for its weight and edge, as well as learning how to care for it. Time has slipped by so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshment for the common people when a new monarch is crowned. It is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. The size and scope of such a feast depends on what expense the royal treasury is willing to bear. Goodness. It's a good question. I think we didn't lose too much on expenditures, but we did also just barely survive a war, so a respectable feast seems like a good idea. I'm sure we can afford to give everyone over the city some bread and sausage and a bit of cake. Of course. Why not? Oh, the tabard for weapons. That does look good. Stick with the coronet. One more sword class might do it. I'm not sure. Guess we'll go back to military strategy. Study the power of ranged weapons, from arrows to thrown fire and sand, and how the threat of such attacks can shift the enemy's response. You study the use of cavalry in battle, as well as the costs and benefits of traveling with large animals. Oh, it didn't max swords. Shame. You practice drawing a blade and striking at short notice from a variety of positions. You learn techniques for thrusting a blade through armor to disable or kill your opponent. The castle is buzzing with preparations for your upcoming coronation. Ministers press you with details for your favorite colors and flowers and so on. You can't really see the point of wasting time worrying about decorations when there's so much else to worry about. Others are more interested in the subject of your marriage. Whomever you decide to marry will be elevated to the highest ranks of the nobility, which could mean a major shift in the balance of power. Therefore, everyone is talking about the top candidates, even though you're under no obligation to marry so young. Talaris, the Duke of Santa, is one option. Certainly he expressed interest in marrying you earlier. Your union would bring stronger ties to the domain of Talas and improve the situation along the Alath border. However, your early rejection of him would seem to make that less likely. Then there is Banyan, the Duke of Marie, a powerful and eligible nodal, only about 10 years older than you. There's Karan, the new Duke of Lila. He's close enough to your age that you remember meeting him at school, where he was already becoming quite handsome. Lila is a powerful territory, and he has family ties to much of Nova. It would be a good match. Except, of course, that you're responsible for the death of his mother. Then there's little Adair, the eventual Duke of Elath. Although at 12, he's only a child. At least, he's almost old enough to understand the concept of romance. Some people think you ought to marry Gwenelle's half-brother Ansiot, who hasn't even turned 9 yet. There are 2 or 3 minor earls around the age of 20 who might be passable alternatives, and of course you could decide to ignore noble traditions and entirely marry a commoner, if you were prepared to deal with the uproar. While you still need to marry eventually, you're still very young. You could put this decision off until later. However, a clear succession contributes to the stability of your domain. Are you leaning towards any option? Ooh, that's tough. I think the sensible choice would be Kiran. Because I don't want to marry anybody, but for the sake of a stable kingdom, we're probably looking at Kiran. There's no time to pursue that thought at the moment, perhaps in the future. Alright. I'm certainly looking pretty min-maxed. My poor intrigue and history. I'll do one more in swords, and then I'm still just getting military bonuses, so not that I think we're going to have to do any more military strategy. Who knows? You study the effects of a strong hierarchy of military organization and the ability of troops to respond to changing situations. Communication across an army can be difficult. Disrupted signals can lead to chaos. You study famous battles, the disasters and the mistakes which created them, and the turning points in larger conflicts and why they made a difference. You learn advanced techniques for holding off multiple opponents at once. At this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden, surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you tea and cakes, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchesses or earls, or the like someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts, some for you and some for you to share. And a week later, they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her to the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. You wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing her words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and through you to all of Nova. And then she calls upon you for the oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability, according to law and custom? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Ladies and lords assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen who has sworn you her loyalty. You have come to give homage. Will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchy approaches your throne, and kneels to swear his or her service to you and theirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, daughter of Fidelia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Thank you. I will. Once his daughter was secure on her throne, Jocelyn returned to his birthplace to focus on his duties as Duke of Colaris. He was pursued by many women, but showed little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, the Duke of Mozamba. The subject of magic and lumens remained a slightly uncomfortable one for the citizens of Nova. Perfectly fine for the Queen, who had inherited it by divine right, but not something that other people should be aspiring towards. Look at all the terrible things that happened when that power fell into the wrong hands. As an openly acknowledged lumen, Juliana, Duchess of Ursula, was met with public suspicion, and whenever she journeyed outside her duchy, at times that suspicion was accompanied by thrown vegetables. It did not matter that Elodie supported her fully as a member of the noble court. It only led to the commoners to whisper that Juliana was a bad influence on the queen. Juliana's perpetually unmarried state was even more worrying to those with wagging tongues. What if that influence rubbed off on the queen and left Nova with no heir? After the failed invasion, relations with Shangia remained tense. First came the recriminations and demands from the Queen of Shangia, devastated by the death of her husband, which Elodie ignored. Next came the subtler approaches, the quiet gratitude and offers for alliances from ministers who were thrilled to see Togami gone. Elodie ignored those also, which was just as well, since the next thing to arrive was the preserved head of one of those traitorous ministers sent by the Queen of Shangia as a warning. There was no sign of war in the immediate future, but there was not likely to be an alliance either. Elodie proposed marriage to Kieran, Duke of Lila, but was met with polite rejection. He carefully emphasized that he did not bear a grudge for the disagreement between his mother and the queen, but a union between them would not be appropriate. The invention of the printing press sparked the beginning of a new age of literacy and knowledge. No longer were books the sole preserve of the noble and the wealthy. Now information and ideas could be easily passed from one place to the other. As the birthplace of this invention, Nova was at the center of a storm of change. And as a Lumen, it was Elodie's responsibility to defend Nova from monstrous threats. She decided that the monsters within the realm were every bit as dangerous as those outside, and thus set herself to the task of conquering the Old Forest. Each monster would have to be identified and carefully studied in order to defeat it without upsetting the balance. It would take many years to reach the heart of the forest, but Elodie was undaunted. And thus Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. Long live the Queen. Fantastic. We did it. We survived the coronation, and we are now the Queen. And with that, as the magic swordsman and official wielder of the Moonlight Blade, we end it there. Thanks for sticking with me. We finally beat this after I've lost count of how many attempts now. But that's it. Long live the Queen. What a fun game. I really like that. So I'll find some other interesting thing to read next. And I'll leave it there. I'll be back 8 PM Wednesday for a Sea of Thieves with Wolfie. Until then, I'm Kane. Thanks for watching. Matinee. Long live the Queen.